episode of Ask Appsro. I'm Jon Etheridge, also known as Appsro, also known as JonnyEthco. That's a fun story. Had I known that I was going to name my animation house Appsro, I would have named my YouTube channel Appsro. But I didn't, because I'm an idiot. One question I'll go ahead and get out of the way on that subject. I think I saw somebody ask, what does Appsro stand for? And what it stands for is, in After Effects, the animation program that I use to animate all my videos, you have 5 tools of animation: anchor point, position, scale, rotation, and opacity. AP, P, S, R, O. Appsro. There it is. My company is named from After Effects. Mystery solved. So I'm going to answer questions today from the Facebook page. You can follow below by going to the link to my Facebook page, or you could just not. First question from Garrett Slayer. Oh God, it's in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. Let's see. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? And translate. Where this the... God. Translated by Bing. Bing apparently either doesn't do good at translating, or I just don't know what biblioteca means, or Bibleoteca, biblioteca. I don't know what that word is. Sorry, Garrett. I have a North Carolina public education. I'm not that goddamn smart. Dave Chin asked, how do you feel about My Little Pony Friendship is Magic? And you know what? I watched the first few episodes the other night because it's on Netflix now. And I watch Netflix with my daughter at night. Usually that's our wind down period for about 30 minutes. I'll fire up Netflix and we'll watch something. And I saw it on there and I was like, you know what? I'm going to fire it up. Not only for me, because I was genuinely curious, but for my daughter. And I got to say, I can see why people have become bronies or whatever, because it like the animation's not bad. The animation, what am I saying? The animation's great. The characters are good. The storyline's okay, but, you know, it's a kid's cartoon. It's not going to be, like, dark or anything. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I go back and look at the shows I loved as a kid, like G.I. Joe and Thundercats, and they're terrible. I watch them today, and they're terrible. Like, Thundercats especially. The voice acting on that is we've got to stop Mumra. So yeah, I can see why people like it. Is it something I'd go out of my way to watch all the time? Probably not. It's not my style of humor, but for my daughter, it's great. I prefer Max Gillardi's or Hot Diggity Demons version because it's funnier. Jacob Parker Dalton asked, do you like bananas? Of course. Jake Paradox asked, is there going to be any more factual game facts about facts? Probably not. I'm moving on to bigger and better. Had a lot of fun doing that series. It's not going to stop me, per se, from doing other video game parodies in the future. But as far as just that brand, nah, I'm done. Moving on. Frank Falcone asked, what is your favorite series that you've worked on thus far? It's a tough one. I'm going to say Duralius and Associates. And that's the show that was on The Escapist, and we don't know where it's going now. We're trying to figure that out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that. Well, let me get the mic here. One, hello, yeah, okay. I'm gonna rant a little about Duralius. I can't say everything because we don't. I honestly don't know where it's going. Duralius as a property, I'm not really in charge of. That's a property owned by Hank and Jed, and even though I am in essence a part of Hank and Jed, there's more of us as a collective to decide what and where the property goes. And right now, we're pursuing one route. Right now, we're in talks with a larger network to try to put the show not only online, but possibly on television. But we're running into these like weird, like that's the thing that drives me crazy with dealing with a big network is they don't decide anything quickly. And that's basically what's happening with Duralius right now, because it's like, you know, talking to them, it's like, hey, we want to show you this. It's like, oh, that's cool. We'll get back to you in a couple months. Then they get back to you. It's like, well, we like it, but what if we did this? And it's like, oh, well, let us think about that for a couple months. And then we say, well, okay, here's what we think. It's like, okay, we'll think about that. We'll get back to you in a couple months. And so now this thing's just dragged on and on and on. And then you got shit popping up like that I never even thought about, like insurance. You know, in order to put this show where they want it, they want to have insurance on the show, which means that we have to buy insurance for a fucking web series, which to me sounds stupid as shit, but I understand because it's a larger network, they're trying to protect themselves and their business interest, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, it's just, it makes the process drag on so much more than it needs to, when I just wish they would just say yes or no. And that's what I like about the internet, is like a lot of the companies I do work for, it's either yes or no. And it's a straight answer right out of the gate. So, anyways, we don't know what's going to, at least I don't know what's going to happen with Duralius right now. But we are very close to finding out. And as soon as I find out, I will let everyone know, because I want to. I want you guys to know. I know it's frustrating. It's just as frustrating for me as it is you guys, because what's going on? What's going on? I don't know. You don't know. No one knows. But as soon as we do know, like I said, that information will be made available. If the network route doesn't go where we want it to, I'll go ahead and say this. We might try to crowdfund and, raise money for the show. I don't know how that would go. I don't know if a big enough audience exists to help fund the series by itself. I mean, to me, that's the ultimate, is, you guys fund it and we make it. And then, everybody's happy because you guys get the show and we get to make the show we want without having to deal with the bureaucracy of a big network. But, is that show popular enough? What, I don't know. That's something that we'll have to determine. All right, well, moving on. Ollie Galvin Jones says, Family Guy, The Simpsons, or South Park? Nintendo or Sega? Back in the day, obviously. Family Guy, The Simpsons, or South Park? South Park is my personal favorite right now. If I were on a desert island and said you had to choose one of these three, which three would you want to watch for the rest of eternity? South Park, because their humor is speaks more to me, because not only is it funny, but it usually contains a message, and I like that. I like that in my comedy. Cody McChillbeans, that's fun. Cody McChillbeans asks, when's the next Mad Mario coming out? I need to see my roommate piss his pants out of sheer excitement for it. I want to do more, because Mad Mario's, I do enjoy playing in that world, and that characters, that just the abrasive Mario is funny. And kind of like Prostitute Mickey, since those things aren't contract work, they're just personal work, I can only do them when I have time for them. And, the time I'm having to spend on the contract work is huge right now, because I have a lot of it, which is a good thing, because that means I'm feeding myself and my kid. So, will I do more Mad Mario and Prostitute Mickey down the line? Yes. Will it be tomorrow? Probably not. But as soon as I can either hire an animator to animate it, and as soon as I can afford to, I will be doing more of those. So stay tuned. Stay tuned is all I can say. Guy just rode by cutting grass. Hey, guy. Aran Art's Ring asks, when did you start gaming? Wow. When I was really, really young. I almost don't remember it, but I do. My first game system was the Atari 2600, and it sat in my mom and dad's room, and it had Pitfall on it, and Pac-Man, and Space Invaders, and those are the three games I remember playing a lot when I was really young, and then from there on, I just kept up with the medium. I got the Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, the GameCube. I never had a PlayStation, now that I think about it. That was the one thing I missed out on, but I did have a PS2, and I do now have a PS3. But the very first PlayStation, didn't have one. That was I think that's like the biggest console I missed. Maybe, the Dreamcast. I didn't have a Dreamcast. So I kind of stuck with Nintendo there for a while. Nintendo was more of a dominant gaming platform in my life than the Sega consoles were, because I did have the Genesis, because I remember when Sonic the Hedgehog came out. That was awesome. I've always loved gaming. I've followed it probably my whole life. I don't consider myself hardcore. Not a hardcore gamer. I can't. There's so many games that I'd want to play but can't because of a time thing. I usually buy about 6-7 games a year tops, and I play the shit out of them. It's usually like the top end games, like the Grand Theft Autos, the Batman Arkham Arkham City, which I love right now. I've been playing Arkham City for months, and I'm still into it. Games like Skyrim, any game that'll last me more than a week. I don't play a lot of the first person shooters in that regard because the campaigns are usually like 6 hours and you're done. But if you play multiplayer, there's more to those too. I've discovered that with Battlefield 3, which I'm having a blast with right now. But yeah, I like gaming. So, and I started when I was really young. Let's see, Michael Schofield. I'm in junior high school. If I want to get into animation, where do you think I should start? I pick up a book. I mean, I really don't know because animation, there's so many distinct styles. There's your traditional frame by frame animation. There's flash animation, which is a mix of frame by frame and tweening. There's what I do, which is After Effects, which is mostly kind of the cardboard cutout-y style. But I'm figuring out ways to merge frame by frame in there. But let's start learning programs and drawing. I mean, that's the main two things I would say if you want to animate in any sense, is you need to kind of know how to draw, at least a little bit. And then you kind of know how to manipulate the programs to make your drawings do what you want them to do. So I would say pick up a book on animation maybe, and then maybe pick up a book on Photoshop or After Effects. But, I'm not an expert in this stuff. I didn't go to school to animate. I went to school for filmmaking, and I just sort of fell into this animating thing. Because I've always had in myself, like, I've wanted to be a storyteller, or I've wanted to, tell stories or write or do whatever. That's always been in me. And when I first started pursuing that, I went sort of theater route and then into film, and then, the animation thing just kind of happened. Not that I don't love it. I absolutely do, because animation, doing film is really, really expensive. Because any kind of live action production involves not only a cameraman, an audio guy, actors, set decorators, finding sets. There's so many more layers when it comes to doing a film or a video, unless it's a video like this where it's just me and a fucking microphone. But with animation, you're only limited really by your imagination. Once you learn these programs, and that's what drew me to it, is like, okay, here's a way to tell my stories or present my ideas without having to hire or a big crew or ask for friends' time to make this. Not that there's anything wrong with that if you have a group of friends that are passionate about a project, but it's really tough to ask people to, like, hey, come work on my shit. I can't pay you, but come work on my shit. It's something I just personally didn't want to do. So animation was my outlet, just the way for me to get shit out there. And I love it. I love it now because, I can tell these amazing stories that I probably couldn't do with live action. Not to say that that I don't want to start doing some live action stuff, because that's something we're talking about. But, again, that's more expensive because you have to pay people for their time. Josh Panda Pop Simmons asks, where did you learn to animate, or is it all self-taught? It's all self-taught. I just picked up books and do my own drawings. Yeah, I'm not classically trained at all, as you can plainly see. I'd like to start learning to be classically trained. I've picked up a few new books recently, and I'm going to try to expand my knowledge. But where I'm at right now, I wish I had known I had wanted to do this in high school, because I would have started learning earlier. But I'm all self-taught, just from picking up After Effects, Photoshop, and a couple of books. Nate Barchett asked, going with the same as last time, favorite character you've made, and what two characters you'd like to see in the Deathmatch? Again, I don't feel like I can say what my favorite character is, because they're all my babies. I mean, I love them all for different reasons. I love Prostitute Mickey. I love Mad Mario. I love the GameFAQs guy. I love Cuddles. I love Gladys. I love Duralius and Murdon and Neebs and those guys. I just, they're all my creations. How could I not like them? So, which ones would I like to see in a deathmatch? Oh, let's see. I don't know. That's a weird question. Here's a neat one. Nicholas Schneider asked, do you feel the quality of work you do diminishes or improves depending on whether you have a deadline or not? And that's a good question. I do feel it diminishes in a way, but also at the same time, my quality has jumped up so far from what I've done previously. I'm getting to the point now where I'm never satisfied, you know, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I assume it's a good thing, but you know, used to I'd be like, oh, I can knock that cartoon out in a week and be happy. And now I'm like, man, I wish I had 2 weeks to knock this thing out because I just want to put more effort and time into everything. So I'm getting a little yancy at that point, and I'm hoping by the next year, year and a half or whatever, I will be, you know, I'll be making enough from YouTube or wherever else to say, okay, now when I make a cartoon, I don't need to pump it out in a week. I can spend 3 weeks or even a month on it and make it as good as I want it to be. That's my goal. You know, that's where I want to go as an animator. But you know, right now, unfortunately, I'm not there. But you know, I want to be there. So yes, I'm getting to the point where I do care a little bit more about the work I put out there, which is a good thing. But at the same time, I do have to make business and financial decisions to say, okay, I can't, you know, I have to stop. I have to stop working on this because I do need to move on to the next thing. Otherwise, I'm going to go broke. So that's where I am. Yeah, that's it. Good question. Thank you. Andrew Law asked, do you ever watch cartoons in the little free time? Do you have? If so, which one do you like? Adventure Time, My Little Pony? Any of those would be awesome. You know, I said earlier, I've watched a few episodes of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. The main cartoons that I watch are from other YouTube or Newgrounds creators, because I love the web cartoons, and not just because I make them, is because I find a lot of them genuinely funny, and I love to see that, you know, just an independent creator making, you know, something awesome out of nothing. That's inspirational to me. It's why I do what I do. So yeah, my cartoon views are all online. I don't feel I've watched TV in a while. Yeah, that's kind of sad. But yeah, I hear this Adventure Time's good. Everyone talks about that, and I've seen the thing. I do try to keep, as far as cartoons go, I do try to keep up with some of the Adult Swim lineup, because that was a big inspiration for me back in the day too. The Aqua Teen, Hunger Force, Squidbillies, which I love because it reminds me of home. If you guys had seen the hometown I grew up in, Squidbillies is like, hey, I'm back. So I do enjoy Squidbillies just for that level of redneck humor that just reminds me of people I grew up with. That's probably my favorite Adult Swim show right now is Squidbillies. Moral Oral is another one that I love, and I found out that they're doing another season through a friend. So I'm happy about that. Happy to get my Moral Oral back because it was deliciously fucked up. Alex Molotov, oh wow, I can't even get close to pronouncing your name. Why did Jesus what? Why did Jesus stop playing hockey? Why do you guys give me these fucking questions? Dustin Kyle Shannon, where does Appsro come from? Okay, yeah. Also, I think you should video your next recording session for Mad Mario. You know what? Yes. If I do make another Mad Mario, I will record myself doing the voice for you guys and upload it. Yay! What audio recording equipment do you use for voices, PC or Mac? I have a Mac, and I use this bad boy. It's a M-Audio Producer USB, and it works for what I need it to. Zachary Murray, the ending of Apocalypse Lane had me very emotional. Was that planned from the beginning? It wasn't planned from the beginning, but it was planned from the beginning of season 2. Because we started the show, and I think it might have been about 12, 13 episodes in that I kind of knew where we were going, and then like by the end of season 1, I was like, okay, this is how I want to end this. And so we definitely planted that earlier on in the season. Russell Fickens asked, are you excited about the Walking Dead game? Not really. I do like Telltale games a lot, especially their new Sam & Max games and their new Monkey Island games, because I was a huge, and still am a huge fan of the old Monkey Island games and the old Sam & Max games. And Tim Schafer and Double Fine. I don't know if you guys heard about them raising all that money through Kickstarter to be able to make a new point and click adventure. I'm super fucking excited about that because if you guys have never played any of these old games like Sam and Max Hit the Road, Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, any of these old LucasArts point and click adventure games, they were huge for me when I was a kid because their style was so quirky and cartoony and fun. I love them, and I'm getting all geeked out now because Tim Schafer's making another one, and I hope it's good. That's all I can say. And he raised he was asking for like what was it, like $300,000 or $400,000, and he's raised over $3 million right now. So it's insane, and good for that guy. And I'm happy. I'm happy that the point and click adventure may come back, and may come back hard. And also. Why not? Especially for these days with the pads and the way an iPad operates, it's perfect for point and click. It's like they were made to be together. Why aren't they doing that? And hopefully they are, because it does sound like Tim Schafer's bringing it to all platforms. So I'm stoked. Yes, check it. Matt AI asks, how much alcohol do you consume before you start planning making your animations? Usually some. A lot of our writing meetings, we'll just have beers. Why not? We don't get flat out fucking wasted or anything, but when we do get together to write, we'll have a drink. Or if I'm writing during the day, I won't. I have a rule to myself, no alcohol until like after 5, and usually even later than that. So yeah, not a lot. Some is the right answer. All right, I've answered some of these already, but let's see. Jefferson Zacchaeus, maybe. Will you only produce gaming content, or will you try to do something else? We're definitely going to try to do something else. I'll be doing something else shortly. And we've done something else before. Apocalypse Lane, Duralius, and this upcoming project. None of those are gaming related. I guess you could say Duralius could be gaming related, but I look at it more of fantasy related. I did those 2 other cartoons recently, the Extreme Sports and the Big Race, and those had nothing to do with gaming. And I had fun doing those. I got one more coming out. It'll be coming out soon, probably Sunday. I don't know when this is uploaded. This will be, what's today? Thursday or Friday. Let's see. I'm looking at the rest of the questions. I've answered most of them, so I'll do one more here. The what is cloud gaming? Question mark. I'm excited about cloud gaming. I really am, because it's gaming on the internet. I would love to get to a point where we don't have consoles anymore, and I know that might be sacrilegious to some people, but I mean, can you imagine instead of just buying the console, you bought the controller? And as long as you had your controller, you could play on your computer, on your TV, on your iPad, wherever the fuck you wanted, because your game isn't a disc anymore, it's online based. I love that prospect. I love that idea, and I hope to see it happen. All right, last one. Are you thinking of becoming a YouTube game critic? No. Not because I don't dislike YouTube game critics. I'm actually subscribed to several of them. Only because I feel like that niche has been filled. There's plenty of game critics out there. I don't feel like we need another one, and I don't feel like it should be me because I'm an idiot. So no. All right, that's all for today. I'll probably do another one of these maybe next week or the week after. We'll see. I got some exciting things coming up for you guys as far as what I'm doing. Exciting for myself too. So yeah, subscribe. Facebook page,